Everybody, it's been a while, hasn't it? I'd like to talk today about the Tomodachi Life Nintendo Direct that they just did for Living the Dream. The Direct already covers quite a lot of things, so I would just recommend you watch that if you haven't already, which, I mean, if you haven't, why are you watching this? But regardless, I plan to talk about some stuff that either wasn't explained very well in the Direct, or things that are either speculative, or things that just don't have a lot of coverage in the Direct. I will also be talking about a couple of details from the other Directs that they released. I will specifically be focusing on the US Direct for most of this information, since that's the one I watched. But the UK and Japanese Directs also happen to have some stuff that's slightly different, so we're going to talk a little bit about that too. First things first, as they do a big pan over of the entire island, one of the things that they happen to show is what appears to be the pawn shop. Which, I mean, it could be something else, but I'm pretty certain that's what it is. The reason why I point this out at all to begin with is because they don't really discuss the pawn shop at all in this Direct. They show it, but they don't talk about it or have any focus on it at all as they talk about the other buildings, so I thought I'd mention it here. Jumping into the Mii Maker now, we get the option to either get help or to create a Mii from scratch, which I assume this get help icon is kind of just replacing the ability to take a photo and use that as your Mii. Some of this stuff has been shown a little bit in some previous material, but I would like to talk a little bit about it here. For instance, right here you can see that there is the ability to add custom skin tones, as well as a greatly expanded amount of skin tones that you can use for your Mii by default. Here we get to look at a more expansive look at the hairstyles than we got to see previously. This also includes the ability to change the hair color, the subcolor, which you can use to create highlights. There's also an option for back hair that lets you choose a ponytail, pigtails, or side pony. We're also given a more detailed look at the various different eye options, which obviously includes some new stuff that isn't in the original Mii Maker, but also there doesn't seem to be any specific option to change individual eyes like in Miitopia, but I guess we'll have to see down the line. We get a brief look at some of the noses, including a none option, which we had seen previously. We also get a look at some of the mouth options, which also includes a none option, including the ability to add lipstick to almost any mouth that appears, as well as the addition of a handful of new mouths. We also get a new look at some options for face details, and that also includes the ability to add ears to your Mii and a couple of new variations of glasses. Of course, as per usual, you can change your height and weight because, yeah. On this screen, there is seemingly no more option for a first and last name, but it's entirely possible that this is just something that's hidden from view, and same with the birthdays as well. Not only is there now the ability to choose between male, female, and non-binary, but also you can choose your Mii's dating preferences, which also gives you the option to either allow your Mii to have only one preference, have them all, have a couple, or none at all. I think the voice synthesizer sounds a little different, but I'm not 100% certain if it's entirely new, but there does seem to be expanded options for accents. And yeah, you can choose your Mii's personality, which seems mostly untouched from the 3DS version, but that's not important, we don't care about that. We care to see the face paint options, baby! So yeah, not only can you freely draw on the face, but you also have a bunch of different tools at your disposal, like moving stuff, adding text, using stamps, adding little shapes and all of that. They even show the ability to add images of a Mii's face, which I'm sure is probably related to the stamping option, as well as different colors, different palettes that you could presumably pick from, etc. Getting into some actual gameplay, we can actually choose topics that Mii's can discuss now by just literally writing them in. Which, later down the line, I'll discuss something relating to this, but it's a pretty cool choice. I mean, it feels like people might be doing some strange things with whatever prompts they put in here, but I think it's cool that it's even in there in the first place. In different region versions of the Direct, they actually show different items inside of the shops. In the US Direct, we see avocado, gummy candy, energy drink, lasagna, string cheese, fancy cupcake, ramen, and crab. In the UK version, we see espresso, spaghetti bolognese, olives, pain au chocolat, gherkins, fried sardines, baked courgette, and escargot. Since the Japanese names are, well, in Japanese, roughly translated, we have katsudon, the gummy again, orange juice, barbecued meat, boiled octopus, convenience store bento, cold noodles, and crab again. I do question if this means that we're going to see significant regional variations between the new games, but I guess we'll just have to see. There is one thing that I did notice because I'm a crazy person, but in the UK Direct, they show the pickles, or specifically they call it gherkins. When they show this item, it's using the US item icon from the 3DS version, which actually, in the UK version originally, it was using a different icon. I don't know if this actually means anything, but this could be a sign that regional changes are less extreme than they used to be. but again, we won't really know until the game comes out. I'm calling this the Gherkin hypothesis, so yeah, okay. We also see a couple of different outfits throughout the different directs, which includes the Dolly dress outfit, the Sunny Side Up outfit, hot dog costume, wrestling singlet, dungaree dress, wizard outfit, bee costume, beetle costume, and according to Google Translate, veteran fan coordinates, which I don't think that's what that's actually called, but sure. It is worth noting that it seems like clothing is sold in sets, which means that you could probably customize your own sets or come up with different ones in the store. I don't know. Again, we'll have to see when the game comes out. We also get a look at the Mii news, which seems largely untouched from its original iterations in terms of the kind of stuff you would expect, but I'm glad that it's back anyways. We also get to take a look at some of the new interiors, which includes this library room, a supermarket, a spooky-themed room, we have this brick apartment, a football room or soccer, forest room, an underwater room, and also a different variation of the forest room. It also appears that there are new color variations you can choose for rooms, and there is also an icon at the top indicating that they might be customizable. When they discuss the new roommate mechanic, they also happen to show a handful of different interiors in the various different directs. We get a look at the market stalls, specifically the night market and the mystery bags, and when we get a mystery bag in all the directs, we happen to pick up a lion for whatever reason. We also get a look at the photo studio, which seems pretty similar to the 3DS version. Nintendo has also decided to preemptively announce that they are going to be disabling the ability to share images for certain things in this game, which I assume was mostly just done because you can take things out of context very easily. In my opinion, it is somewhat disappointing to limit online features like this in any way, but I understand why they might do it. It's stupid, but I get it, I guess. Around this point is when they explain some stuff about island customization. You can either have Mii's request to have stuff placed on the island, or you can choose to place them however you please. Quick Build has plenty of offerings you can use to place stuff around your island, and also there even seems to be a customization option on the very far top corner. You can pretty much move anything on the island to where you please and have it be exactly the way that you would want it to be laid out. And there is quite a large amount of space that you can put things, so you can create some strange looking islands like they show in the Direct, or you can come up with one that looks really nice and fancy, you know, it's up to you. Around here is when they discuss Islander quirks, which are basically just little behavioral things that change with your Miis, depending on what you give them. You also have the ability to write expressions for Miis, which are similar to the little catchphrases that you could give them in the 3DS version. There's quite a lot of different behavioral quirks that you can give to your Miis, which definitely gives them a lot more life than they had previously, which is very nice. I will appreciate that. Now, this isn't something I actually really have touched on that much in this video so far, but a lot of the interactions seem to be greatly expanded in terms of the kinds of stuff that they say or do, which I do think is actually really nice. It gives it a way more cinematic feel. We have yet to see the extent to which the amount of interactions that we can have just are in general, but it does seem like there is quite a lot of different interactions and things that you can do with your Miis, at least probably equivalent to how much is available on 3DS, which, I mean, that game has so many interactions that there's still stuff in that game that I have never seen before, and I sometimes will just find and come across, which is crazy for me to say because I'm literally the Tomodachi Life guy, but you know what? That's just how it is, and that's why I love this game so much. Around here is where we get a closer look at the Pallet House, which I have discussed a little bit of the stuff from this before in this video, but here is where I'm going to get a little bit more in detail. It appears as if you can customize pretty much anything, like you can customize that weird little dog running around, you can customize stuff on the TV, you can even customize food, which in two of the directs they show latte art, but in the Japanese direct they also show art made with curry. This could imply that all food items are customizable, either that or very specific food items are customizable. We won't know until the game comes out probably, so we'll just have to wait and see. And of course, we are also shown the ability to customize clothing. And in addition to that, we can also customize buildings, which is a very nice feature to have. I'm sure a lot of people will make some good use out of that. We also watch a love confession play out, which happens to be pretty similar to how they play out on 3DS, with the only exception being the locations in which you can do these things. Which, I mean, I guess that's to be expected, you know, it's love confessions, you know, don't fix it if it ain't broken, you know? Miis also have the ability to move in together as roommates, which is a pretty cool feature, I will say. I know this is one that people have speculated on for a little bit, but I'm glad to see it officially confirmed. You can have up to 8 people in one unit, which, I mean, that's quite a lot. I'm assuming that you can also get married couples into these units, which, I mean, I guess we'll have to see down the line because we didn't get that confirmed or anything, so yeah. At this point, we've reached the end of the direct, and we get a little sizzle reel of some stuff, mostly just Mii's hanging out around together on the island. And also, we get a brief look at weddings, and also of babies, which, I mean, I'm glad those are coming back. I don't know why they didn't even really discuss those in the direct, but you know what? Better late than never, I guess. And yeah, for the most part, that seems to conclude the direct. I've covered pretty much everything that I think is at least relevant to mention. Now, I will say there does seem to be the omission of things like the love tester and the concert hall, which, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that they're gone if they are gone at all. Again, we don't know. But, I mean, if they are, then I can live with that. You know, it sucks, but I can live with it. Now, I don't know if they plan to reveal any more news down the line about this game, you know, I'm sure they'll probably release a couple trailers before the game comes out and all of that. Unless something major comes out, I probably won't make any other analysis videos for the time being, but I will probably be actively posting about any new news on my Tumblr blog, WebTomo, so if you're interested, then I would highly suggest checking that out. Though for now, thank you for checking this video out, and I will see you God knows when.